When you think about the college application process, there are dates that might make your heart beat just a little bit faster. For starters, the early action and early decision due dates come around November 1st or November 15th. While early action admission offers are non-binding, meaning that you don't have to attend if you're accepted, and early decision offers for admission are binding, both happen around the same time, very early on in your senior year. And then there are regular admission deadlines, which tend to be around January 1st to January 15th. With all of those standard application deadlines, everyone's applying around the same time, and then everyone is receiving their admission decisions also around the same time. You may feel like if you miss those deadlines, then you miss your chance to apply to college. Folks, that is not the case. That is where rolling admission comes into play. With rolling admissions, there is a window for admission, sometimes 6 months or longer. You apply within that window and you find out your admission decision about 4 to 8 weeks later, sometimes even sooner. With rolling admission, everyone does not do the same thing at the same time. You apply and you find out whether you've been admitted on a rolling basis. Schools with rolling admission may start accepting applications before the earliest early application deadline. August 1st is a common opening date, and extend beyond the latest regular application deadline, typically until all slots in that class are filled. Wondering how many schools offer rolling admission? The number is higher than you might think. It's 611. That's right, folks. A whopping 611 schools have no application closing dates. Many of them still do have priority dates, and those range significantly from school to school. Penn State's is November 30th, while Portland State's is June 1st. Of those 611 schools, 85 are ranked among our best colleges at the Princeton Review. That represents the top 13% of schools in the country. Those, of course, include Penn State and Portland State, and another bunch of awesome schools. And some schools offer both rolling admission as well as standard admission, meaning that you've got options. Here are some of the advantages for rolling admission specifically. For starters, you can get your decision early, and you know you have a viable college option before you've even submitted some of your other applications. If you're worried that you might not be, well, as appealing as other applicants, rolling admission can also offer you an advantage if you apply at the beginning of the window, because rolling admissions are on a first-come, first-served basis. Over that time, there are going to be fewer slots for admitted students as the class fills up, and your odds of being accepted get lower and lower. Picture this as if you're at a giant dinner table or a concert venue. As more seats are taken, it gets tougher and tougher to snag one. So students who apply earlier in the rolling admission cycle may be more likely to get in. You can use this to your advantage. Now, speaking of applying early, unlike early decision, early rolling admissions are not binding. And if you struggle with waiting patiently for an answer to the all-important question, where am I going to go to college? I mean, folks, who doesn't? Rolling admission can offer you the advantage of a quick answer. Plus, if you're late to the game, or your regular admissions decisions didn't go the way that you had hoped, rolling admission also gives you the chance to apply and get accepted well after the last regular deadline has passed, and in some cases well into the summer. Now, with those considerable advantages, there are disadvantages to consider too. There aren't as many of them as you might think, but they can be weighty. For starters, if you wait too late to apply, you may find that the competition for the few remaining slots is more intense later in the process. Applying late in the year may also cost you in other ways too. Just because admission are rolling does not mean that all of the school's deadlines are rolling. For instance, you may not be able to get housing and aid from a school that allocates those resources on a first-come, first-served basis. And speaking of aid, keep in mind that while a school's admission policy may be rolling, the FAFSA definitely isn't. Now, the FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. You should plan to apply for aid, of course. Lots of people don't apply because they think that they don't qualify, and they would have. Folks, don't ever leave money on the table. But back to the topic at hand. Both the FAFSA form and the much more intense College Board CSS financial aid profile applications begin on October 1st. Some schools also have their own financial aid applications. The point I want you to take away is that regardless of when the rolling admission window closes, you need to know all of your school's financial aid application deadlines. These differ not just from one college to another, but even within individual schools, which may have different deadlines for the FAFSA and the profile submission. Make a spreadsheet, write it down, do whatever you need to do because you do not want to be late. It's worth repeating. You never want to leave money on the table. If you want to find out more about maximizing your aid and minimizing your college costs, watch our College Admission 101 videos. Folks, as always, thanks so much for watching, friends. Subscribe to our channel for inside college tips, test prep, and a whole lot more.